All right, folks, check this out. Caroline Leavitt just had this insane, unhinged press conference outside of the White House. Now, I said recently that I think Donald Trump is more unhinged than ever. He's just appearing incredibly erratic on social media, more so than he regularly is. And I think that after watching this press conference, it kind of extends to every single member of the Trump regime. It seems like they're all on edge. They all have to defend the indefensible. And it didn't go well for Caroline Leavitt today. She talked about Mamdani. She talked about Donald Trump's failures in federal court, the investigation into Democratic senators, and more. We're going to get into all of it in just a moment. Before I do that, make sure to subscribe down below, drop a like on the video, comment. Let me know what you think about this story. I always love hearing from you folks at home. But without further ado, let's just listen to this first clip where Caroline Leavitt is asked about the meeting with Mamdani and the fact that, he still refers to Donald Trump as a despot, as a fascist. And of course, she's not happy about that. So take a look.
President Trump said he still thinks he's a fascist and a despot after they had such a great meeting. Any comment from the White House on that?
I think talk is cheap, and I think that the president is going to judge Mamdani by his actions that he takes to New York. The meeting was positive, as you heard from the president last week, and I think the fact that the president is willing to meet with somebody who said those types of things about him shows that he really is interested in being a president for all Americans, regardless of where they live or who their leader is. He wants what's best for New York. He loves New York City. He helped build the skyline. He spent his whole life there, and so he really wants to see New York do well, and so that's how that meeting played last week. John.
The claim from the White House is that he wants to be a president for all Americans, and that's why he's specifically targeting blue states, targeting Democratic politicians, saying that Democratic voters are low IQ, as he posted on social media yesterday. That doesn't seem like a president for all Americans. But, Caroline Leavitt is saying the talk is cheap, yada, yada. But I don't think that Mamdani can do any wrong in Donald Trump's eyes now. I mean, Trump was posting fan cams, friendship collages on social media of them together at the White House. You can see he even just posted an individual photo of Mamdani. So Caroline Leavitt can go out there and say, oh, the talk is cheap and whatnot. But I really don't think that Mamdani can do anything wrong in Donald Trump's eyes. She's just rehashing the meeting while during this press conference. I just wanted to throw that in there because, just so crazy that meeting happened and Donald Trump was so positive about it. But anyway, moving on, let's go on to another clip where Caroline Leavitt is asked about this breaking news story today that a federal judge has dismissed the indictments against Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, and James Comey, the former FBI director. These are two people that Donald Trump demanded on social media be indicted. He specifically asked Pam Bondi to do so. I'm sure you remember that whole story where he accidentally leaked his own text message to Pam Bondi. But a federal judge has dismissed these indictments. The judge found that Donald Trump's appointment of U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan, who has never tried a case like this before, might I add, she is completely incompetent, inexperienced, has no idea what she's doing, clearly. Her appointment was invalid. Trump handpicked Halligan for the role amid increasing pressure to bring criminal cases against his political enemies, of course, including Comey and James. Quote, the Attorney General's attempt to install Ms. Halligan as interim U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia was invalid, Judge Cameron McGuire Curry wrote in her Monday order. According to Curry, quote, all actions flowing from Ms. Halligan's defective appointment, including the indictments against Comey and James, were unlawful exercises of executive power and are hereby set aside. Now, I will say that these indictments were dismissed without prejudice, meaning that theoretically they could be filed again. It's yet to be seen if they actually go forward with that. But now let's hear from Caroline Leavitt, where she was asked, is the president more determined now since the judge's ruling to go after Comey and Tish James? And this is what she said.
Caroline, is the president more determined now since the judge's ruling today to go after James Comey and Tish James? And if so, why?
I wouldn't say he's going after them. I think the president is more determined than ever to see accountability in this country, yes, and to correct the wrongs of the weaponization of our justice system that we saw under the previous administration and Joe Biden.
Finding a way to bring up Joe Biden again. They have BDS Biden derangement syndrome. It's unfortunate that this is a real thing that they struggle from. She says, I wouldn't say he's going after them. I think the president is more determined than ever to see accountability in this country. That's why he just pardons everybody that gives him a bunch of money, right? Pardons the January 6thers. He pardons the Binance guy who he made a bunch of money off of the Trump family did. I'm just pardoning everybody that gives him money. That's justice, right? According to the Trump administration, at least. But the idea that he's not going after them is laughable because, again, Donald Trump literally posted on social media directing Pam Bondi to indict them. I mean, it's like, I don't even know how she can say this with a straight face. We know that Caroline Leavitt is a liar, so it's not exactly surprising. But Trump was on social media demanding this, and Caroline Leavitt saying, I don't think he's going after them. His political opponents. Okay, cool. I'm glad that the White House is running with this BS excuse. Now, we move on to what is a really significant scandal, which is the Trump administration trying to arrest, indict these Democratic senators and representatives who came out with that PSA, that video that Trump has been raging about, saying, hey, to the military, don't follow illegal orders. That's all they said. That's all they said. Don't follow illegal orders. If Trump asks you to do something that's antithetical to the Constitution, to the United States, don't do it, which is good advice. But now Donald Trump has gone on a tirade, and now the Department of War, which is actually the Department of Defense, has announced that they are investigating one of the senators who was part of that PSA. They said the Department of War, again, Defense, has received serious allegations of misconduct against Captain Mark Kelly, senator, in accordance with the Uniform Code of Military Justice, 10 U.S.C. Section 688, and other applicable regulations. A thorough review of these allegations has been initiated to determine further actions, which may include recall to active duty for court-martial proceedings or administrative measures. This matter will be handled in compliance with military law, ensuring due process and impartiality. Okay, further official comments will be limited to preserve the integrity of the proceedings. The Department of War reminds all individuals that military retirees remain subject to the UCMJ for applicable offenses and federal laws such as 18 U.S.C. Section 2387 that prohibit actions intended to interfere with the loyalty, morale, or good order and discipline of the armed forces. Yada, yada, they continue ranting. So they are investigating a Democratic senator for using his first... Listen. They are investigating a Democratic senator threatening to court-martial him for using his First Amendment right. Now, Senator Mark Kelly has already responded, saying, I swore an oath to the Constitution in 1986. I've upheld it through 25 years of service and every day since I retired. If Trump's trying to intimidate me, it won't work. I've given too much to our country to be silenced by bullies who care more about power than the Constitution. And he included this very cool photo of him during his service. And now, let's hear from Caroline Leavitt on this investigation.
The White House is supportive of the Department of War's investigation into Senator Mark Kelly. And I think what Senator Mark Kelly was actually trying to do was intimidate the 1.3 million active duty service members who are currently serving in our United States Armed Forces with that video that he and his Democrat colleagues put out. Senator Mark Kelly well knows the rules of the military and the respect that one must have for the chain of command, and that all lawful...
I mean, this is just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I'm going to, you don't need to hear any more from her. Do we really ever need to hear from Caroline Leavitt? I mean, she's just so irritating. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. One of the dumbest things. And this is going to backfire spectacularly, just as these indictments against James Comey and Letitia James did. Because all Mark Kelly did, and all these other Democratic reps and senators did, is told military officials to follow legal orders. Right? I mean, it's on a plaque at West Point. It says you can only follow legal orders, right? This is foundational to our military. And Donald Trump and Caroline Leavitt are trying to imply, and certainly the Department of Defense is with this statement, there's a serious crime committed. No. Using your First Amendment right to advocate for people following the law. I mean, we are fully in dictator mode here in Donald Trump's America, where even just advocating for people to follow the law is now a major offense, and you have to be court-martialed. if you're a military member for doing so. It is absolutely insane. And this press conference she had where she's just talking the most crap was absolutely insane. I just had to bring it to you. But look, I will leave the video there. I'm excited to hear from you in the comments. Make sure to subscribe down below, drop a like on the video, comment. Please let me know what you think about all this. I'm just so frustrated watching it all go down. But as I always say, have an amazing rest of your day, and we will talk soon.